for 10, 11 years. I didn't trust the voice in my head.
Dida Clifton is an Air Force veteran and founder of Office Squad, who transformed fighter pilot grit into a bookkeeping business powerhouse.
And then I finally just said, I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to do what I believe. And then I went for it. And I just went all in. The Office Squad, the logo, the brand, the Alpha Bravo Delta Charlie, we do everything.
What's up, everybody? This is Ryan Van Ornum back with another edition of the Milpreneur Podcast. Really excited to have on our guest, Dida Clifton, today. Before we jump into that, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe to our videos here on YouTube and Spotify. And thank you to our sponsor of Synergist for their go-to scalable operations company. Go check out synergist.com. Today, once again, we have Dida on. How are you today?
I'm doing fabulous. How are you?
I'm well. It's great time of year, and I'm excited to see where learn more about the Office Squad and what you got going on there.
Well, I love to talk about the Office Squad, so beware.
Awesome, very cool. Well, before we jump into that piece, let's. I mean, you are a veteran, right? What tell us about your service.
Well, I'm not going to give you any dates, but it was a while back. I joined the military right out of high school, and I was, I guess, lucky enough I got to skip the piece of training in between boot camp and your actual assignment. So it kind of freaked me out. I went straight from boot camp to an F-15 fighter squadron in Alamogordo, New Mexico. So terrified 19-year-old walking into a squad full of fighter pilots. They all looked like Maverick, whom we didn't even know existed at the time. Yeah, it was about 80, 85, 86 when I joined. So it made it easy for me to tell people what I did. I worked with Maverick, 32 of them.
I love it. That's awesome. So, obviously going basically straight from high school into the military, it shaped you in ways you probably never thought possible, right?
Yeah, I went kicking and screaming, by the way. Not judge told me to go, but my father strongly suggested that I go and get some discipline. Evidently, he had failed at that.
Very interesting. Well, I think we all have a parent like that one way or another, or some role models inside of us are telling us what to do. So now, but tell us how a little bit of what Office Squad is, and did you bring any of those virtues and values that you learned from the military into building what you currently do now?
Yeah, it's a huge part of it. It is the brand. And I started thinking about it 24 years ago when I started a little bookkeeping business from home. And I met these entrepreneurs and business owners and thought, oh my God, they are just like fighter pilots. All they want to do is go fly. I was in the service for 6 years, got out, got married, and became a spouse. And you got to have something to do when you're traveling around supporting the spouse. So I started that bookkeeping business in Vegas, 2001. And I just saw all these things that were not being done to the best of their ability. And I just thought I could fix it. The military does things a little different. So I started adding systems and procedures and growing, and it's just turned into what I think is the perfect back office hub for small business owners. It's a squad, just like, we sit behind a big desk and we run operations just like you do in the fighter squadron. We treat the things that happen to the business owners. We answer their phones, we do admin, full charge of bookkeeping is the main thing. But we do it with this sense of urgency that I just wasn't seeing in the civilian world.
That's awesome. So as you continue to grow this business out, what challenges that came up that you've had to kind of either reevaluate or pivot around? Because there's so many things that happen in your own business as you've grown it out, right?
Yeah. First of all is listen to the experts, because I didn't, and I don't know that any of us really do. Now that I'm considered, an expert, and I tell my clients that we should do it this way and you should do it that way, they still do it their way and then come back and go, okay, let's try it your way. So first of all, listen, at least try, and get involved in the community. That helped me grow because I'm a service-based business. So it's all about trust. So you have to, I joined the Chamber of Commerce, and then I just sat at home and expected it to do something. So you got to participate. I changed my name 3 times trying to find the perfect business name. That gets expensive. So pick a good one right off. There's so many lessons in 24 years, Ryan. There's no way. I would need to write a book, but I did start a franchise company, and all of the lessons that I've learned are in that franchise operation so that people don't do the same thing if they become a franchise with us.
That's awesome. Very cool. So like, what was some of the biggest bottlenecks or struggles that you had? Because like not everything's sunshine and rainbows, right? Is there something that you
Yeah.
like, man, we just finally figured out and it clicked?
This is going to be funny. I always wanted to use the fighter pilot theme in the business. The first name was Dida's Virtual Assistants, which is ridiculous, and I always wanted to use that theme because fighter pilots are like entrepreneurs. And every time I mentioned it to family and friends, usually the fighter pilot that I answered, that I married, they would say, that doesn't make sense. People won't understand it. So for 10, 11 years, I didn't trust the voice in my head.
Yeah.
And then I finally just said, F it. I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to do what I believe. I got a tattoo, and then I went for it. And I just went all in. The office squad, the logo, the brand, the Alpha Bravo Delta Charlie, we do everything squad related. And I'll be damned if it didn't start growing.
That's awesome. That is so cool. I love that. Is there a moment that you found like, man, I always find like with entrepreneurs, you have like this one moment that like just came out of left field because if you weren't in this time and place, and all of a sudden it just opened up other doors. Did you ever have one of those moments?
It was probably when I was sitting in a peer group. And if people aren't familiar with a peer group, it's not a networking group. It's not a leads group. It is a group of people going through the same shit that you're going through. And you sit in a room and you talk about it and you cry about it and you yell about it and people help you. That is when that moment happened, I think, with I'm going to just do it this way, because there was a marketing expert in the room. And I had talked about it. And he finally just said, you need to do it. You just need to do it. Quit talking about it and do it. And he helped me wrap my head around what that happened. And that was just the moment. Just do it.
Awesome. I love hearing those stories. It brings such like clarity to a lot of people. Like it's like if you just have the conversations with people, you never know what can happen,
Yeah.
So
Trust.
absolutely. So what are you most proud about in this journey that you've been on for the last 20 something years now?
My goal, day one, when I decided to grow, was to grow a successful business without losing my family. And we're talking 20 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
where the wife still belonged in the home kind of thing.
Right.
I had two little girls, and they went everywhere I went until they started school. And I still managed to support the F-15 pilot and move every 2.5 to 3 years. And I have now successfully raised those two girls. One of them has made me a grandma. And I have retired my husband. He no longer has to work. And we sit here in our little country home on a runway, and he's outside playing with his airplane right now. So I have succeeded at creating a business that actually pays me, and I didn't lose the family in the process.
That's amazing. I love that. So like with what you are building and what you have built, how like one of the things I find fascinating is staying in front of like different trends that come into different pieces of like career verticals. Like how do you stay ahead of those trends and what you're doing?
What we do is really just very, very basic stuff. We answer the phone, we do administrative tasks, we do bookkeeping, which if you haven't heard enough of me, it's not accounting. It's the day-to-day stuff.
Yeah.
So the only thing that has really changed for me is how the AI and the technology, of course, has grown. We've used QuickBooks. I've used it for, close to 35 years, but the company started with QuickBooks, and then it was QuickBooks Desktop at the time. Everybody had to drive around. I drove around from place to place with a little memory stick and brought it back to the house. And so I had a really cool IT friend at the time, and I said, this is ridiculous. There's got to be a better way. And he said, yeah, just use RDP. And no one knew what it was. Only the big companies had it, servers and remote access and that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So he built my first server for me. It sat on my desk. It was very loud. We hosted QuickBooks Desktop, and I no longer had to drive around. The clients could use their QuickBooks, and we could fix their QuickBooks. And then QBO came out, and we had to start learning that. Oh, not terribly fast though, because people didn't like it much at first. It's starting to make sense now.
Yeah.
And now they've pushed total desktop is just supposedly gone in their eyes. AI wants to download and sync and do everything for you. And our message is it doesn't. So using the tools that have been thrown at us, and you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but you really have to if you're going to grow. If I hadn't hosted my own QuickBooks, accepted QuickBooks Online, learned other things, I would still be stuck in a room somewhere doing bookkeeping for 10 people,
That's really cool. I love that you've seen progression along the way, and like being able to stay in front of stuff. That's paramount in what you do. So well done on that.
Thanks.
Absolutely. Hey, one of the things that we do is we like to get to know like our founders and our C-suite and our CEOs on a personal level. Are you up for a little rapid fire personal questions?
Sure.
All right. All right, here we go. So do you have like a favorite book that you're reading?
Not at the moment, but my favorite book is You're a Badass by Jean. Yeah.
I love it. Very cool. Do you have like a bucket list travel spot you would still want to visit?
Yes, we would like to go to Scotland and Sweden. We haven't been there yet. We spent
Nice.
3 years in Germany. We spent 3 years in Japan. We've done a lot of traveling, but we haven't been there yet. So
Awesome. Are you an early bird or a night owl?
early bird.
Awesome. Do you have a favorite superpower? Like if you could have one for yourself, like flight or invisibility or something like that.
I like to be invisible and listen to what people think.
I like it. Very cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. What was the first job you ever had?
The very first job
Very first job.
where I had a real paycheck. I worked at a grocery store, Henneke's grocery store in Brookshire, Texas.
Awesome. Very cool. If you could have dinner with a historical figure, either living or deceased, who would it be?
That's a hard one. Historical.
I mean, it could be like grandparents or something too, if you wanted to.
I don't know. I'm in the business, growing, expansion, raising money thing. So maybe Mark Cuban.
There you go. I like it. Very cool. Do you have like a favorite cheat meal?
Cheat meal.
Yeah.
Oh, I love pizza.
There you go. I like that one. And then like, what's like your musical go-to playlist? What's rocking in your tunes?
1990s country, George
There
Strait.
you go, George Strait. I
See
like
the
it.
longhorn back there?
I see it. I see it. You absolutely crushed the rapid fire. Great job.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Awesome. Hey, as we kind of wrap up this episode, if you could go back to that 19-year-old Dida that was going into the military, you could time travel back and talk to her. What's one piece of advice you'd give yourself?
It still won't work because I'm, in my 60s, but don't let your face show what you're thinking.
I like that one a lot.
I rolled my eyes at my drill instructor, and I think I went there 2 days in boot camp, and I didn't even know I rolled my eyes till they called me out.
I think I had that happen once or twice too. There's a lot of push-ups I had to do because of it.
Yeah. And my face still gives me away every time.
No, I feel you on that one. So what lesson or what impact do you want to leave behind once your journey's complete on this endeavor that you're on?
Well, the daughters are the legacy, and I think I've done that. But with the business, my goal has always been to make it easier for small business owners. That's what we do. We want to help small business figure it out faster, better, smarter, sooner than 20 years down the road. So I would really like somebody to go, yeah, the Office Squad can help you grow your business before you make any of those mistakes.
Very cool. Very cool. Lastly, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Well, 5 years from now, I'm going to have 25 locations throughout Texas is where we're starting. We want to acquire bookkeeping and accounting firms that are looking to retire or merge with someone else. So we're going to do 20 of those and some franchises here and there that are suitable for the culture, because we have a very difficult culture. It's boot camp kind of thing. But yeah, I'm going to be all over the place. Check me out.
That's fantastic. I love hearing that. And if people are interested in the Office Squad, how can they get a hold of you?
Best place to visit is theofficesquad.com. It'll tell you a little bit about us, and there's a direct email and scheduling link to me.
Awesome. Dida, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the Milpreneur Podcast today. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for you talking and asking. It's fun.
It's absolutely great. So once again, Ryan Van Ornum signing off for the Milpreneur Podcast. Until the next time, stay blessed, everyone. Take care.